All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. Tonight's market updates on examining what are we looking at, and of course, maximizing opportunity available in the space. All right, so I'm going to take us to the market directly now, and then we can explore um, the market and preparing for the new week, both in the crypto and in the Forex or other financial market. Now let's look at crypto. Yeah, so fantastically enough, we're still bullish because after a kind of head and shoulder for the market in general, and that's the crypto market in general. If you have been following us in our market update, we said the best way to enjoy your crypto activities, the best way to enjoy your crypto activities is actually to look at the long-term perspectives, and that's going to help a lot of people. Yeah, so, and being able to diversify tentacles. And so if you look at it, we're still bullish. And so the bulls still in charge, right? And we actually expected a kind of little pullback last week. And then, but of course, we've been down for a very long time. And then we have like explosion thereafter. And so whatever thing you're seeing, um, for anyone who is a trader, you want to be very too much careful on shorting the market, even when it's so obvious, because we are entering into abnormal segment of the market before we go to strong buy, and that may be super, super amazing. Just like let's look at Bitcoin, BTC, before I go to my chart, right? And if you see, there's a correlation of when Bitcoin actually got back to a bullish momentum and on a daily time frame, right? That was on the average of $85,000 region. Then when it confirmed bullish, and now good and fine. What I always love people to understand is that when it has to do with crypto, is beyond just you know, maybe fear, unnecessary fear, or those kind of scalping and all of that. You have to do with crypto. If you look at it, there's an alignment about that 85,000 region when the market actually turned bullish. But of course, before then, we've already been in the market looking at segment by segment that we actually need to break above this channel. And that was average of now $85,000. If you go back to this, my AI segment and all of that, you see that at average about 85,000, yeah, $85,130 region was when we turned bullish. And then now we still continue, right? So 85,100 and something, that was a region where we turned officially bullish. Like we said, so long we break above this point, then we're bullish. But being bullish, we're still looking at all this point and all of that. Now, so what's the next thing? If you remember, we said no matter what we do, we have to be very, very careful. Now, for those of you who have been on long position or you bought, maybe it's in your exchange, the best you can do is to actually trail your stop loss right now, right? If you're on long, maybe especially on Solana, where we say Solana was going to come to $94. Superman, please be careful with our screen. All right, so we talked about Solana at $94. So if you're in any of those trade, what you want to just do is to adjust your stop loss. Especially those of you on Bitcoin, you want to adjust your stop loss, to trail your stop loss, perhaps maybe below $97,000 and all of that. Now, I'm not saying we're looking out for it to crash down, no, because if you pull back, but please let's be wary a bit. And why are we going to be wary? Remember, I told us that we need to neatly cross above 105, 106,000 and retest above this region. Without that, we're not going anywhere. Okay, so just take note of that. But once we're able to break above 105, 106 and retest to stay above here, then maybe first of all, we'll look at going to about 115,000. And remember, I told us that the top of the roof was, all right, so suppose of course, to be, September, October of this year, 2025. And if all things being equal, and then it's as if that is getting more achieved gradually. But you don't rule out the fact that anything can happen in the market. And that's why we need to be guided. So the best you could do now, if you're in a long positions in any of the crypto, that Bitcoin, Ethereum, all right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Chainlink, and all of that, you want to trail your stop loss. But so you have to watch out this week, as long as we forcefully break above and retest this. Now, two things I expect to happen this week, of which the narrative and the sentiment is still bullish. A lot of people now crazily more bullish, right? But you ask me now, Felix, can I now jump into a long position right now? The answer is no, you can't. Okay? The answer is what? Is no, you can't. Because there's nothing as good at when you are going into the market. It shouldn't be when. So it shouldn't be when we are very, very, because we've been talking about the market to return from $73,000, and after that, as long as we stay level-headed above $70,000, we are still good, and that's what we maintain. And of course, we keep moving, and then said, as long as we don't get rejected here, just like the way we're rejected over and over from the back, then until we cross here, we say, wow, we're good to go. And I'm sure for anyone, even if you're afraid from the beginning, and then if you look at it from here to where it is, that's about 22% or thereabout. And then, so if you're even on 5x or 10x of your position, so 5x, 20%, that would be 100% of any amount allocated. 10x, 20%, all right? That should be 200% of any money allocated. So now what I'm saying here is this. What we want to be cautioned about is that we're approaching a resistance that may not be too strong for us to break, because one of the strongest and the major one were this point and even this point that we broke. This point and this point, and we need to just break without retesting this, which is dangerous anyway. But now we're able to bounce up and stay level-headed over here. So what I'm looking at this week is that I've said here may not be too difficult for us. So what you can do for, anyone who was not in any position, you didn't buy any of those coins, yeah, the best you can do is to look at trailing your stop loss if you're in any position, and you are not, you want to look at perhaps not taking any market now, but allowing the market to close, the candle for today to close, and then for tomorrow candle to open. Then to be so on the safer side, when Bitcoin, maybe from now till Tuesday, and Bitcoin actually cross and retest this above 105, 106, probably go to 109, 110 and retested, then you want to be looking for an entry from that 106, $107,000, to rally up to $115,000. Now, it's always good to permutate your entry, and so that you will not pick a wrong segment and all of that. So whatever applied to Bitcoin is actually similar to Ethereum, okay? So Bitcoin has actually gotten out of the major point, but Ethereum still have a lot of fight, okay? Yeah, it still have a lot of fight to move. And so, but of course, I always say that why will you want to buy Bitcoin when there are other coins that have a lot of journey to achieve? Something like Chainlink, all right? Something like Solana itself. Remember, I told us about the movement of Solana to $176,000. Yeah, so that if we're able to break that, go to $210 and all of that. And I think it has tried, and it's already $173,000. That's amazing. And so if you look at that from that point, we've been shouting, talking about Solana to this point, man, that's about 68%. That makes a lot of sense. All right. And so what should I do? Then you want to look at Solana actually crossing that $176, I said, and then probably you want to find an entry, and then that can still give you a lot of stuff for Solana from here to this point, which about 40 something percent. But for anyone, probably have to take and listen to take very simple instruction from where we've been talking about it. That means you're going to record over 150% give and take. Okay. Now, it's quite difficult when we're saying all of these that because people believe more in hypes. And so that's why I know a lot of people may miss out of when we're talking about all of those going to recover. So Avers have a long journey to go and to recover, all right, from a journey. And so if it's going to break above this, that's $27, then rally back to, so you probably want to look at all of those coins to see the 63%. And if Bitcoin continue with a very big rally, then you can do 100% on Avers and all of that. Okay. So I'm just wrapping those guys. Okay, sorry. You probably want to look at, where's this? Okay. Sorry. So you probably want to look at some of our coins that we bought that were low cap tokens that we bought, which is like Toshi. Yeah, after the dump. I know a lot of people didn't even look at Popcat. Popcat did very massively well. Yeah, and that was why I always tell people you do not need too many coins to be successful. All right. You just need to understand which one are you following and all of that. So you can see this guy had actually, so that's a long journey to go too, right? So maybe as Bitcoin, so these are some of those coins you probably want to look at to get since they are not expensive and over time. So imagine back to this point, you're going to do 200%. So, but I know a lot of people, Popcard did massively well, but people do not even look at it again because many were afraid, oh, Bitcoin had crashed, Bitcoin is finished, crypto has finished, and all of that without fact. So you can see Popcats, margin things about 11 to 12 cents, and here we're back to 50 something cent. Probably you may want to look at, is it too late for me to buy Popcat? Maybe no. Why? Because as long as Bitcoin is able to cross above, above the 109,000 and go to 115 and then to rally up. You remember Popcat went to $2 before the crash, so why not? So if you're buying Popcat from even whatever it is right now, but you have to allow market to close, and then so you can still do 200, 300%. And if it's going to get about $3, that's going to make a lot of sense for you. Now, another coin that, of course, I do not have enough time to start giving a lot of review, but there were some of those old coins that we've gotten before that still did a lot of performance and all of that. So Giga is another token you can lay your hands on. Giga is going to go back to, so looking at Giga probably to here. So you can do 200% very possible. Yeah, up to this high. So Giga is a coin that you can still find a very nice entry tool. Like so, I want to check another one. Okay, I've talked about Popcat. Okay, so of course, Popcat, Popcat, Toshi, Michi. All right, Michi. I think yeah, those are Coinbase token, right? So you can buy Michi, Steve. Of course, now this is a challenge I normally have with some of us. If you really want to do this business, you have to get ready to do it. Why? I always say that the bull market is not your friend, neither is the bear market your enemy. Market crashed down to as funny as 1 cent, and no many persons actually want to look at it. People start lamenting, oh, nah, my portfolio, finished, and all of that. So even when you invite people to attend meetings, people will not attend. And so we just keep lamenting for nothing and all of that. So you can lay your hands Yeah, so because it's for me, it's already even expensive because he gave a lot of discount, came down to 1 cent, and we did nothing. So 1 cent, we turned back again and all of that. So you can still lay your hands on Michi, which can be bought on Mex Global and other exchange. There's another token I just want to talk about again. That's SNAI, SNAI. Yeah, I think that can be gotten on is it only on Dex or something? But I think it's on MXC. Okay, so it has been struggling though, and but also may have a very snail journey kind of a thing. So, but you can do 200% over time. So now, yeah, just to stop here for some of those tokens, you can get a whole lot of them because I'm busy doing some of those coins that are turning into okay. Okay, yeah. Even these guys, I remember telling some of us who probably could not participate on this thing, and I think it jumped out of hands of people not paying attention to it. That was that their pie because it dumped massively, and people don't even pay attention to it. So after the dump, but you see that it never crossed below, and so by tools actually gave me a buyback at about was it 50 something cent? Yeah, so which came down, yeah, 50 something to 40 something cent. And now you can see the rally back and all of that. So maybe if you allow some kind of level of pullback for it, then to get some, as it were. Yeah, so that was Pi. And remember that they are not resting too, just trying to do what they would do to make their coin popular and all of that. Okay, so but Michi, Toshi, Popcat, yeah. I know some of us who had Popcat for long and then you sold some. And maybe I should add something to some of us who are new. When it has to do with cryptocurrency, it's not about numbers of tokens you have. It's about how strategic to do select your tokens. So I select token across ecosystems, okay? I remember when we're talking on the group, I said, if you understand what it is now, picking from Avaras, picking from Solana, picking from this, but good number of people probably don't pay attention to those things. Okay, so if you ask to do with, we ask to do with all these things. So crypto is not about how many tokens you have, it's about how strategic are your token selection, all right? Some of us have some tokens we have stake for how long. So those one, even when they dump, they pump, they dump, it's not our business. So we just allow them to be. That's just the truth. And so because in the first place when you were buying them, so look at when this Mudeng was already confirmed up, and I think what price is Mudeng right now. Okay, it was confirmed up at 4 cent back. Yeah, so confirmed up at 4 cent. That was April 27 was when Muden was confirmed to me for a buy. That was Muden that I think that's still have a long way to go to. Let's look at it. You know, these are kind of meme coins that gain some attraction. Ooh, man, it's gone far, guys. Yeah, it was on the 27th. Yeah, 27th of April, you can see when my tool confirmed to me. So both, so I got some confluences. When it has to do with crypto, you don't give yourself unnecessary stress for crypto, right? So you don't give yourself unnecessary stress for crypto. So I don't think more than is good for you. So there are other opportunity or probably you want to check because because from that 27th to now, yeah, after the pullback, so up to this point, so Mudeng have done 700%, guys. So because at 4 cent was when my tool confirmed to me that Mudeng is now returned bullish. Look at it. And then you can see it was in consonant with other tool that was given to me, right? So crypto is, you don't give so much stress to your crypto. You invest. That's why I said the best aspect of crypto, buy and hold, buy and stake. And so let me look at this guy, virtuous, virtual return bullish on the 26th. So most of those tokens, I think was April, yeah, where some of their confirmation came more to limelight and all of that. Okay, because if you even look at Bitcoin itself, Ethereum, and all of that. So that means we have the continuation, like I've said. So, but we have to be very careful because we said this is resistance ahead of us, and that's the last resistance, guys. Here was supposed to break down so that we pull back to $93,000 because we have some backlog of what do we call liquidity to be swept at the base that were left unswept. And that's why sometimes when you are in this market, you want to try as much as possible to edge and then continue to trail your stop loss, because when there are so much liquidity somewhere, then you want to look at those who is who in the market or in the system to want to pay attention to where those liquidity are. So if I tell you now that Bitcoin, so that's why we have to be wary and be careful. So Bitcoin having some liquidity point, probably at about 105, 106 region. So that's why I said we actually needed to break that 106 and retest. If not, so I could see. So if we retest and continue, that makes sense. But if we hit and then flip, then you want to see Bitcoin return back to 102, 101, then likely to 98,000, 98,000, 97,000 region before continue. And so there are a whole lot of liquidity that backlog at that 93, 93, $92,800. So you don't remove your mind from all of those things because they have a long way to affect the market, okay? So that's for Bitcoin. And so we are careful that when we get here, so best bet for you. Oh, should I buy Bitcoin now? Why? You don't need to buy Bitcoin now. If you have been following us and you never bought Bitcoin, or you want to long Bitcoin, you never longed it before, I don't think it's the best time for you. What's the best time? When we break this and retest, or we go sideways and then probably come down to that 99, 98,000 again. Then, phew, you want to find an entry. But right now, you rather want to look for other coins, like I mentioned, Toshi, Moshi, and all of that to get some of them and then hold them. Whatever Bitcoin want to do, they can push up and all of that. All right, so that's for Bitcoin. So let's look at the markets. So remember, those of you have been following, the DXY had made some kind of intentional reversal. And that to say, I've told us if you are a trader in currency, you're trading Forex, I told us, so we actually got there that if we break this point, we're supposed to go more further down to, that was a level I marked here, okay. So, but nevertheless, so where we began to get, what's going on? Excuse me, sorry. Okay, so that's to say we are journey for DXY this week. If I have a little bit of back, so we should continue bullish for DXY. And I've said this thing time with a number that DXY is so DXY and Euro USD. So Euro USD is DXY upside down, just like you talk about inverse head and shoulder. All right. And for me, I do more of swing trade when it has to do with currency. All right. So if you're a forex trader, I do more of swing trading when it has to do with currency because well, there are people who scalp because they have that energy and all of that. when I want to scalp, I look for commodity, gold, Bitcoin, all of that. So, but for currency, Euro USD. So as long as we have the DXY, maybe just a little pullback at the market opening today, then you have Euro USD to maybe a little pullback. So this is a kind of final support for it. So, but for me, I want to be looking for what? Selling opportunity for Euro continuing, right? So continue till we flip down and all of that. This is how this market used to do. Remember, if you have been following us, you will see that we have the record and we have the antecedent before, and that has been happening back to back. So, all right, sorry guys. I think the network interrupted itself there. Okay, so I'm sorry. Okay, so where am I even? So which one is this one? Okay. So I'm just trying to let us know that whatever happens to um whatever happens to Euro USD, so it's the replica you're going to have on GBP USD. The only difference is that GBP USD may go faster or lag in the movement, but it's the same thing you are going to have invariably. So we're going to be selling gold, going to be selling Euro USD, then you should be seeing selling opportunity in GBP USD. But the difference is this, the GBP USD sometime could come later or even still have a leg up before continue to follow. So sometimes Euro USD go further down. Of course, different economic policy at different region, all right? And that's one of the things we need to pay attention on. And of course, USD JPY, so we should have continuation push up this week for USD JPY too to still continue, all right? Then GBP JPY, congratulations, those of us who were following our trade throughout last week. Very sluggish kind of movement, remember, when we're in GBP, JPY, and then, but eventually it was a very nice one. And then anyone who do not really have patience, I'm sure the fellow may not really be happy with himself last week because you would jump out faster even while we're waiting for the opportunity. Remember, those of us who were in on, so we've not even hit our targets. If we remember, our target was here that if we're able to break it, so probably you can imagine you're in a trade that stay for over how many days, 1 to 3 days, and then over the weekend. So if it's not a good position you take, then the swap fee may be much bigger. And so, but it's actually like a frustrated stuff. I told us that it won't break below this. And if it break below this, that's we are not going to get our setup is invalidated. And how, so now, so if we have this broken this week, we have this week and retested, then the journey going to be continued. And that's going to be very amazing, which is GBP JPY, you can see. So if we're able to break where about to hit, then you're going to have very nice, more continue or buying opportunity for new people. Now, lastly, let's look at gold. So gold is a bit delicate, right? Of course, I told us last week that, of course, we have more bearish situation on gold. And so this week, uh, you just allowed the market to open because gold is a very funny stuff. Because if you look at it now, if I go on line chart, you see that gold is actually on a double top, right? So what you don't want to have is to see gold break below this point. If you do that, then you're going to rally down more to this point, which is about 2,970 something dollars for gold. And that's what you don't want to have. So what you want to have now is just a little flip down here at the market opens. Then for us to rally and break above this, then we can continue our journey. Remember, I have a target of big gold going to $3,600 as it were. So, but we want to have, this journey rally right? And then continue up. If not, if we break the neckline, then it's going to be very disastrous. So, but one of the fantastic things about gold is that it does not give you unpredicted movement unless you are too in a haste, and that's where you're going to have issues. My best instrument to trade is gold. I trade more of gold, and I trade NAS 100, and I trade US 30. One of the things is that NAS 100 only will pull back again and continue moving up and all of that. So, but it's a bit very speedy and then crazy. Now, those of you who are trading on who are doing challenge on Traders Mastery, if your account is a small account and you are not ready to manage complete and a very nice risk, do not trade NAS 100, okay? Do not trade NAS 100. Just stay on gold, perhaps maybe USD or so do not go for NAS 100. Just go on gold and USD or Euro USD. Okay, so that's one of the fantastic things. Now, we have a lot of things on pipeline. Pay attention to learning and information, and we'll be platforms, and so pay attention to updates on our forum because we're setting up a lot of things. And those of you who passed your challenge last week, congratulations on Traded Mastery. Some of you, and then I saw some of you who signed up for AKASHX newly. I saw a few number of persons who signed up for yearly subscription. Please, you have to chat up with me after now, or probably when we enter the new week. Because I'm sure some of you after sign up, you probably have not connected your Traders Mastery account that was given to you, or you have not even accessed the account, which you're meant to access the account of $200,000 challenge account. So you have to chat up with me, and so that I give you direction on how to go about them and all of that. And I said, our trading 90 days challenge that is going to close in the month of July, I think so. Our Thursday, 30th of July or something, is still continued. And we've said, sign up on AKASHX, sign up on CapitalXtend and fund your account. And I've said, well, there's no promo right now. You can fund your account with minimum of $200 and then connect to the Signal. And then we're doing live sessions just 3 days in a week rather. Monday, 1 p.m., Tuesday, the same 1 p.m., and then on Thursday, 1 p.m. So evenings, just like business presentation, as it were, and then don't want to miss it for anything. Then the copy trading, I'm going to publish more of it tomorrow because I've done the setting and experimentation. So the copy trading and the PAMM trading on the CapitalXtend is already live, right? And so you want to have passive income. I call it passive decentralized income because, but of course, if you want to do that, you have to discipline yourself not to alter the trade, as it were, and let it run. So, right? So the PAM, so can afford anyone with as low as maybe $100, fund the account, connect on the PAM, and then just allow it to run. You do nothing, just hands-free, you do nothing, and then the copy trading, the minimum I saw running now is $500, right? Funny enough, I know when it has to come to stuff like this, they're going to help a lot of people. People do not have money but when it comes to a kind of Ponzi scheme, people can go to Lapo to borrow money and all of that. All right. It's not our fault, it's by default, And so, but there are so many opportunities for us to help ourselves make money without so much stress that we actually thought. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, so stay alert and follow instruction. Making money these days is a lot easier than before. I must confess. That's the truth. Making money these days is a lot easier. If I tell us now, like the challenge account on Traders Mastery, people who are passing the challenge account within the shortest time don't even know anything about trading before, but they were only following instruction, and now they are fine. Some of you feel, I don't have energy for it. I don't know. Right now, I just talk about some of those tokens now that we should buy, and we come here every Sunday to talk about market updates. So you can't deny the fact that we talk about when we say market was going to come down, like I'm talking about Solana, talk about Bitcoin itself, that we're looking at $73,000. And then when we came down to that $74,000 region and all of that. We'll talk about it. Okay, market's about to pick up and all of that. And now market pick up, but good number of people did nothing. And so if you look at it from that one, $94, perhaps you did not even take it from the $94. That means right now, if you have bought Solana, you'll be seated on about 82%. You heard me right. Yes. You will have been seated on about 82% and good number of tokens like that. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is basically what we have to offer tonight. Market updates, taking your decision. You have any point and all of that, always just inbox me on the group and all of that. And we can give attention to you and give you direction on what to do. And you can help yourself. All right. So the market is still perfect and we're in order. Like I've said, we can only have probably a pullback or a rejection here. So what I don't want to have is a very sharp rejection here. We'll have a sharp rejection here. Guys, going to be very disastrous to go back to probably first 98,000, next 93,000, and then we do just not need to go below 93,000. If we do that, that means all the momentum we've gathered become a waste, right? So, but we just need to just truly break above this, retest it, just a good rejection that we call it could cause a pullback to 101, 102, or 98, and then we continue. So you don't buy from here. You want to see a breakout and retest above here, and then you want to take it up to 115. Remember, I say if we're able to have a nice break by November or September, October, where we'll have the top of the roof, then the market can go to $175,000. Now, I've been saying this for a long time. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Do have a nice rest. Enjoy your night, and let's make money to help our family and help people around us. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.